Welcome to the Coven Chat.
Thank you for joining me here at the Maiden Circle Coven Chat podcast, where we talk all things witchy, spiritual, and human.
Hello there. In today's episode, we are discussing manifestation. We have an interview with Kat Williams of UrbanMagnets, a very lovely and creative human being. I hope you will enjoy the interview as much as I enjoyed listening to her. There are things that I learned while speaking with Kat, and hopefully you'll learn something new as well. We have a pretty substantial interview, so I'm going to try to keep the rest of our segments of today's episode relatively short, but I did want to share a poem with you. This poem is very special to me personally, and I think it's probably special to a lot of people. It inspired one of my favorite plays that went on to become a fantastic movie starring Sidney Poitier. And who doesn't love Sidney Poitier? I was actually looking for a poem or writing about manifestation or about wishes coming true, about making things come into being. But after thinking about it, I thought of dreams. I kept hearing the song, "A dream is a wish your heart makes." And what is manifestation if not putting a wish out into the universe and believing that it's going to come true? Of course, this poem, Harlem, is actually about a dream that doesn't come true, but it's a dream that can or could, and the play and movie that were inspired by it explores that idea through a character that I've always resonated with. She has dreams of living a life different than the one she was told she had to live, the one she's expected to live. And it's been years since I read the play or saw the movies, so I don't remember if or which any of her dreams came true. But I will always feel an affinity for this poem, for that play, for the hope. And I will always believe that the dreams that are meant to come true, and there are dreams that are meant to come true, that they will, as long as we believe in them, as long as we hold faith, and as long as we're flexible and understand that it won't be true for every dream. So let's go ahead and read this poem, and then we'll get into our fun fact of the day. This is Harlem by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore, and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over, like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? So that's it. Let's move on to our fun fact of the day.
Pagan fun fact. Here's your fun facts now.
So I found myself on a bit of a dream kick. It wasn't intentional, but in looking for today's fun fact, I went through quite a few different topics, and then something in my brain said lucid dreaming. And it wasn't until I spent maybe a good half hour looking over lucid dreaming content that I realized I had also done the Harlem poem, which was also about dreams. I didn't mean to make that connection, but I get why I did, because for me, my dreams have always been a big part of my magical and spiritual experience. And even if I wasn't intentionally creating my dreams, they were coming true. I have had quite a few dreams where days later or even weeks later, the exact scenario that I saw in my dream manifested into my reality. So what is lucid dreaming? Lucid dreaming is the state between deep, rapid eye movement sleep and being awake. It's a state in which your brain is aware that you're dreaming. According to simplypsychology.org, the first known written account of lucid dreaming comes from our old friend Aristotle. Written sometime around 350 BC, he describes something in our consciousness that tells us that we're dreaming as we're dreaming. Around the same time, another Greek physician was using lucid dreams as a form of therapy. But it wasn't until the 20th century that researchers actually started studying lucid dreaming properly. using the scientific method, using experiments to find out how and why lucid dreaming happens. It wasn't even called lucid dreaming until 1913, when a Dutch psychiatrist, Frederik van Eden, coined the term. And it wasn't until the 1960s that the first official piece of literature was published on the phenomenon. I first heard about lucid dreaming when I was a teenager. One of my friend's mom had a book on dreams, and I remember finding out about lucid dreaming through that, and I remember trying to do it all the time, really just trying to get myself into it. And now I don't really attempt to do it. I don't really have a purpose personally for it, but I have had quite a few lucid dreams in my life. I probably have a couple a month where I am aware that I'm dreaming, I am able to make decisions in the dream, and able to change things if I want to change them. This is especially useful if dreams get too scary. If I start having stress dreams, I tend to have what I call zombie stress dreams. Basically, I started dreaming of the world of The Walking Dead before that show ever existed. Although in my zombie dreams there are some stricter rules. Zombies absolutely are not out and about during the day. I don't know why that is, but in my dreams they are a night thing, and it's very important to batten down the hatches before sundown, because at sundown is when it happens. And in some of my dreams there are like these sirens, and it's like this post-apocalyptic world. And I've had these zombie stress dreams for years. And it's gotten to the point that every now and then if I do have one, and I know in my waking life that I've been under some stress, I'm very able to now say, okay, well, I know what this is about. In the dream, let's change it. Let's solve the problem. We're going to stop this. I'm not scared anymore. And it's been very helpful for that. Again, according to Simply Psychology, there was a study in 2006 that did show that people who are able to lucid dream have fewer nightmares. Other benefits of lucid dreaming include anxiety relief, more creative ideas, better motor skills. Though there is the risk of decrease in sleep quality, you may be using methods that interrupt your sleep to induce lucid dreaming if you're trying to make it happen actively. So be very careful of that. I would love to do a full episode on this topic, so I don't want to go too deeply into it, but I just think lucid dreaming is a fantastic tool. I love that it's helped me deal with my own stress dreams, and I just think it's really fun when they happen, that you're in your dream and you know you're dreaming, and even if something crazy or scary is happening, you are suddenly aware that nothing is going to harm you, no one is going to be harmed, because it's just a dream, it's all fine. And guess what? You know what, I want to be somewhere else right now, so I'm somewhere else. And having that kind of immersion in your sleeping hallucinations, it's just such an interesting experience. For me, especially because dreams have always been so important to me. My first novel, Lullaby of the Lilitu, came from a dream. And like I said earlier, I've had dreams where something that I saw in my head that I'd never seen before came into my life very soon after. I just think it's fascinating. So let me know, have you lucid dreamed? Do you have any interest in lucid dreaming? If you are able to do it, what do you do to make it happen? Or is it just natural for you? Let me know your thoughts on lucid dreaming, and let me know if you'd like me to do a full episode. I would like to, and down the line I'm probably going to either way, but I'd love to know if there's actual interest in it. So that was your fun fact of the day. Let's move on to our quick musing, and then we're going to jump into our interview with Kat Williams. So, manifestation, manifesting, what the heck is it? In our interview today, Kat is going to share her style of manifesting, what manifesting means to her, where it comes from in her life and in her experience. So I'm not going to take too much of your time here talking about those same things. But in very brief terms, manifesting is the art of making something come into being. It's the art of bringing an idea into form. When I think about manifesting, one of the first images that comes to mind is a cartoon poof, because I think in cartoons a lot. I think in bright colors, I think in magical scenes, so to speak. And so I hear manifest, and I picture the twitch of the nose and a puff of smoke and an apple that wasn't there before coming into being. But on a deeper level, it's not just poof and there it is. On a deeper level, I understand it as a process between the manifester, you or me, the person, and the universe or the divine, God, goddess, whichever you'd like to call it. It's a conversation and a partnership of creation. So my second thought after the poof is the process, the reality of manifestation that I've seen in my everyday life. It's the question of how do I speak to my friend who lives across the country? How do I communicate with this person without having to wait days or weeks or months for a letter that may get lost in the rain or some other event? And then that question becoming the telephone. That idea of wanting to shorten communication becoming a device that allowed people to communicate from all over the world, that then became the internet, that then became smartphones. And of course, smartphones are a collection of manifestations of televisions and computers and radios in our hands. Things that, if you watch old movies and shows, were just ideas, are now so common to our everyday existence. The idea of man taking flight and then planes coming into existence, all of it was manifested by someone. All of it came from a poof, a thought, an idea, and so much of it is now our world. So much of it is now how we exist. I say it a lot because it's true. Our society, our existence, everything that we have is because we made it. We created it. We manifested it. We had the ideas, and then we built the buildings. We had the ideas, and then we realized them. And manifesting doesn't come with just a twitch of the nose. But even that idea, the twitch of the nose, is an effort. It's a step taken towards what you want to be. Going back to that very simple idea, she wanted something to exist. She had the idea, she had the thought. Then she did something, she twitched her nose, she did whatever it was her deal with the universe to do, and the thing that she wanted came into being. So every day we are faced with manifestations. Every day we see things that were once only ideas, that were once only in the head of some small person, some person whose names, unless we are really interested in that thing, we may not know. It was just an idea, and then it became this microphone that I'm speaking on. It became an outfit. It became a new life. So if you don't believe in manifestation, you're not paying attention to reality. If you don't believe that we have the ability to create the world we want, we have the power to do that, then where do you think everything comes from? How do you think you're listening to me right now on a phone or computer or whatever? Manifestation is as much a part of human existence as breathing. We are always manifesting. We are always powerful enough to create things. So just think about what it is you're trying to create and why and how. And then come up with the steps. Make that deal with God, with the universe, with the divine, and say, this is what I'll do. Believe that this thing must exist. It does exist in another time. It is, it shall be. And this is what I'll do to show that belief, to honor that belief, and to bring this thing that is existing within me into existence outside of me. And then do that thing. Do what it is that you agree to do. Believe and trust and allow yourself to be open to manifesting, to bringing things into your life. I'd also say be open to change in what you're trying to manifest and how you're trying to manifest things, because as humans, we are not static creatures. We do change. So be open to allowing your manifestations to change, or allowing how you manifest to change. And also allowing what you're manifesting to come in ways you don't necessarily expect. The year of this recording, there was something I wanted to manifest. There was something I really wanted to experience. And the way I worded it left it open. What I wanted, there were a few specific criteria. I wanted to be in a room, any room, but a room. I wanted to listen to a person speak in that room. And I wanted the chance to meet that person and look into their eyes as I spoke with them. And in my head, I saw dinner or party or some other close event. I saw a long conversation and all sorts of other things. But those specific traits, be in a room, listen to that person speak, look into their eyes during that conversation, sit across from that person. Those are the specifics. And I got that. It didn't look the way I thought it would look in my head, but it was exactly those things. It blew my mind. It really blew my mind. This thing that I manifested was so amazing to me. And the way that it played out, again, it was exactly these specific things I'd asked for. Even though I'd imagined all these other frameworks, I'd asked for those specific traits. Whatever happened, it'd be around those things, and that's what I got. It's so beautiful when we are open and flexible to the different ways our wishes can come true, the different ways our manifestations can come through. The path they'll take towards us is not in our control. All we can really do is say, this is what I believe must come into being. This is what I'm bringing into being, and trust that it will come into being in whatever shape or form it comes. I don't know if that's necessarily something we need to focus on so much. Of course, it is a case-by-case basis and a person-by-person basis, because what works for you isn't necessarily what works for everyone else. And I've tried a lot of different methods of manifestation, and I'm not sure which thing that I did brought that manifestation into being, but I'm just glad it happened. Of course, another thing that I manifested a while back was my apartment, and that was a lot more active. I walked past this place almost every day. I grabbed a card from one of the real estate agents in here, and I placed it on my altar, and I prayed for this place, and I said, I'm going to live here. This is my home. This is where I'm going to live. This is my next apartment. I did that for about a year through the process of the paperwork and all that, and the situation with my ex. So now I have this apartment, and I'm very grateful for it. And I know that there are many other manifestations to come, and it really does help me to remember all the things that we as humanity have manifested, that we have brought into being, that others said could never be. Again, our smartphones, our planes. That's why I think it's very important that we are careful about where we put our focus and our energy, because mass manifestation can be manipulated. A lot of people believing the same thing is a lot of energy, a lot of power. So we've got to be very careful about where we put our focus, what we bring into our lives, what we watch, what we listen to, how we speak about ourselves and about our lives, because the human mind and the human word are extremely powerful. Our entire world is an example of that. So if we can believe we can make the world better, if we believe that the crap that's happening right now that we don't like can be changed, then it can be. And if we believe that it can't, then we are cursing ourselves. We are manifesting something that we don't have to manifest. So I guess that's it for me before I get a little bit too ranty here. I do hope you enjoy our podcast. As always, I'm not telling people what to think. I'm simply giving you things to think about, giving you ideas that maybe a lot of the opinions we've been seeing about how doomed our world is aren't necessarily true. And maybe we can try to believe in, see, create, and manifest something a lot nicer, a lot more beautiful, a lot more loving and nurturing and thoughtful, a lot more hopeful. Anyway, let's get on with our interview. Okay, so I am here with Kat Williams of UrbanMagnets, the Candle Whisperer, as she's known in one of our groups. How you doing today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I am pretty good. We did chat a little bit before we started, which was
Mm-hmm.
nice. So today we are talking about manifestation, and you, Kat, are a manifesting person. You use manifestation. So I'd like us to start off with you letting our listeners know who you are and explain a bit about your practice, your beliefs, and your background.
Okay, well, as Victoria introduced me as, the great introduction was, I'm Kat Williams from UrbanMagnets. I have always been amazed by astrology. and knowing about the different zodiacs and, the traits and characteristics of, each of the zodiac signs. So that's what I started learning about at an early age, and the stars and all of that. And then from that time up until current day, I've delved more into manifestation, quantum physics, which basically is manifesting, and things like creating vision boards and different chants, the Grabavoy codes and things of that nature, to help me to manifest the things, people, and places that I wanted to enter my world.
So going back to what your practice is there a certain name or style you are more particularly drawn to?
I'm learning every day, so I just don't want to pigeonhole myself. I would say I've done extensive research on Santeria and manifesting. I don't necessarily put myself in one category. I'm learning things every day, and I'm finding out different things that I'm better with. I didn't know that I was a healer, and finding that out, I'm delving more into how I can continue and heal on a better basis and share my practice with people, if that makes sense.
I think so. You're
Okay.
saying you're learning and sharing as you learn.
Exactly. Yeah.
So how does your practice translate back to UrbanMagnets, to what you do?
My practice goes back to UrbanMagnets through my magnets, my stickers, the candles. All of those reflect a lifestyle that uplifts your energy, your vibration. It gives confidence. It lifts your spirits. You can look at the item that I have, whether it's a candle, a magnet, a melanin sticker, and it reflects the women in our community, Black strong women in our community. And not necessarily that I offer my products to any and everyone, but because I'm a African American woman, I only know that. But I'm open to other ethnicities and things of that nature, and to learn. But for that, how I began my craft in developing my products was within COVID, in the pandemic. I was home from work, and I just started creating things that made me feel good. And I never once thought that other people or another person would have interest in the items, because I was making them for myself. Eye candy to lift my spirits, to give me confidence, because it was like a very trying time, not for me, but for everyone else in that time experiencing the pandemic and whatever. So I created the candles, the magnets, my affirmations, just to basically uplift me on a day-to-day basis, to help me get through my day.
Would you say that your practice of creating is a form of manifestation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because before the pandemic hit, again, quantum physics and wanting things, whether it was an object, the company of other people, or going to different places, or experiencing whatever it was I want to experience, I did vision boards, and I've been creating vision boards for like maybe 15 to 18 years. So
Oh,
in the beginning, it was vision boards that got me to this point, because I used creating vision boards and seeing what I wanted to manifest within my life. I utilized that practice as a stepping stone, as a foundation, which catapulted me to creating the magnets, the stickers, and the candles.
very fascinating. That takes us back to a question I probably should have asked a minute ago. What, in your words, is manifestation, and how did you already kind of touched on how you started manifesting, but if you could try to pinpoint, I suppose, a time in your life when you really jumped into manifesting, please share that and let us know what manifestation is in your words.
Manifestation, in my words, would be creating an environment or a feeling or a taste or a smell that only you are wanting. And then whenever it manifests, you're able to share it with others and kind of say, hey, come with me. Look what I got. You could do the same thing, if not better. But this is what I was thinking about. This is what I saw. This is what I wanted. And I manifested it in this color and this size and this quantity in this space with these people at this time. Because manifesting, Victoria, as you know, it's not just saying, oh, I just want a blue bike. Maybe you'll get something with that type of manifestation technique, but the more details, the better. I have learned that for my blue bike, I would say I want a Schwinn 10 speed that has the 13 gears, that's located here, the price that I want to pay for it, where I want to ride it, where I'm going to house it. Basically, I'm acting as if I already have it, and I'm laying out as many details as I can so that it can manifest in my life even faster.
Right. So you suggest specificity, like being very
Yes.
specific down to
Yes,
the nitty.
absolutely. Yeah, as much details as you like. And that's with saying that if you want a Lamborghini, okay, so what type of Lamborghini would you like? If you want a Range Rover, do you want the drop top Range Rover, the 2017 one in the color orange, or do you want something else? So the more details that you have, the better, because you're honing in on exactly what you want.
Wonderful. I'll ask again, can you pinpoint a time when you really jumped into manifestation, when it became a special, specific, unique part of your life?
Maybe 15 to 18 years ago, I was looking through magazines. That's a favorite pastime because I'm an avid reader. It might have been Cosmopolitan magazine, I'm not really sure, but one of those fashion magazines or whatever. And I just began to see different luxury items, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. I would like to have this. Why not just look at it in the book? How come I can't take it to another step to get it, because this is kind of interesting and I would love to have one. So with just seeing it, like the image of it created a spark, and I'm like, well, how can I get this? I may not have the money right now, so how can I possibly get this particular item? Will it be gifted to me? Will I find it? Will I win it in a raffle? All types of things. And as they say, the more energy you focus on doing something, the higher percentage of you actually obtaining it, because you're focusing energy towards it to make it happen. So that's basically what happened. And then as a result of me utilizing the magazine and having those thoughts of the luxury items that I saw that I wish to have, a couple weeks later, or it might have been a couple months, I was invited to my first vision board party. And after that, Victoria, I was hooked. I'm like, oh, good Lord, I could do this. Oh my, these people come together and they manifest trips, money, food, clothes, cars, abundance, healthy living, all of this. Like, everyone there at the vision board party was there to create their vision board to manifest, but also they were not manifesting the exact same thing. So what I was manifesting, my neighbor beside me could have been manifesting the total opposite. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical thing, luxury or non-luxury. It could be you're manifesting peace, you're manifesting love, you're manifesting gratitude, anything like that. So whatever it is that you manifest, it's totally possible for you to bring it into your environment.
Sounds very, very exciting. I hope you met a lot of cool people during that.
Oh yeah, definitely did. Great time.
Something you said brought up a different kind of question. How would you respond to those who take the opposite approach to manifestation, where they say it's about detachment, where it's like you don't put in a bunch of energy, you don't think about something 1,000 times, you think about it, you put it into the universe, and then you walk away? Have you had any experience with that style or met people who manifest in that way?
I have not come across any person or group that manifests in that particular style. But the thing is, there's no one way to manifest. So I can't seriously sit here, Victoria, and say, well, oh, my way is the best way, and you have to do A through Z in order to get that convertible that you've been thinking of, or that trip to Jamaica, or that puppy that you saw at the pet shop. Like, I really can't say that. The way that I manifest things, I think about it, I script, I'm getting my vision board ready for 2023. So there's a variety of things that I do to help manifest all of the items that I wish to bring into my environment. I'm sure that the detachment, you think about it, you say this is what you want, one and done, and then you're off to the next. And whenever that item that you are manifesting, it will come around. So who am I to say that, oh, there's a better way to manifest? Because again, it's a learning experience. Every day I learn something new. In the beginning, I just started with vision boards, but now within my arsenal, I have found that utilizing a vision board, scripting, chanting, using the Grabavoy code method, praying, speaking with the angels, like that right there, Victoria, I just named 6 different things that I do to help me manifest. So with me doing 6 or more methods to help me manifest, the next person may just do 1 or 2. So who am I to say the greater is better or the latter isn't effective? Whatever you feel comfortable with, I would say.
That's very fair. I think that's a very fair response. I would like to know what's your favorite, your best, your strangest, funniest, whatever experience with manifesting that you've had that really stands out to you. I would like to hear about that.
At the time, it may have been 7 years ago. I'm a Brooklyn girl. I moved from Brooklyn here to Manhattan, and I moved into a brand new apartment in the Washington Heights section. I moved in, I had my furniture delivered, and whenever I was selecting my furniture, I was single at that time. And it's so funny, whenever I was selecting my furniture for all of my rooms and whatever, something just washed over me and said, you know what? You need to select big furniture, like big chunky furniture. And I'm thinking like, huh? Where did that come from? Like, what is that? Like, I don't even understand that. So, not for nothing, I'm walking around the furniture store and I'm picking out different things, and it like stuck in the back of my head. So I did select sturdy, chunky furniture, but where that thought came from, I had no idea. And then later I met my husband. Well, he was my boyfriend then. I met my man, and he happens to be 6'6" and 265 pounds. And
Wow.
right? And my thing is, it's like, okay, like at that time, did I want a boyfriend? Did I want a man? Did I want a relationship? I was single. And, I'm like, well, a relationship would be nice or whatever. I was manifesting again. I just don't manifest one thing. I'll create a list of items or things or places from like 1 to 10, and I'll write them out. I'll think about what I want. I'll strategize. I'll write that down. And then I will go ahead and do my prayers, my chants. I'll script and all of that. And one that I can tell you that I'm so proud of is my credit wasn't that great. So I wrote on one of my manifestation lists is that I wanted my credit to be good. I wanted it to be 800 or better. Current day, this is no lie, but I had to do the work to get it there. But it starts with the thought, then your thought goes to a plan, and you put that plan into action. That's how I go about manifesting. And current day, my credit is a good 715 to 725. So I'm not quite at the 800, but I'm super closer than what I was before I got started and put that plan into action.
So your favorite manifestations were your husband and good credit?
Yes.
Those are good
Yeah,
manifestations.
I would say that, yeah.
Those are really beautiful things, and not a lot of people
And
have them.
again, Victoria, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but again, Victoria, different people manifest different things. Someone may just want a red dress. Someone may just want a pair of Jordans. Someone may want a trip to Dubai. It could go from the smallest to the grandest. Be creative in what you manifest, because you'll get it. You'll get it.
Do you believe that manifesting is an important practice for most people? And if so, why? If not, why not?
Is it a good practice for most people?
Like, could it be
Well,
helpful for most people?
oh, absolutely. But the thing is, you have to put some type of effort towards it. Anyone can walk down the block and say, "Well, oh, I want $1 million." Okay, but everyone else does too. So if you want that $1 million, what is it that you're willing to do to put that plan into action? How are you going to get that $1 million? Are you asking to meet people that are hustling and moving and shaking and they're in different businesses? Why do you want this $1 million? Where can you get it? What type of people do you want to be around? What type of atmosphere do you want to build this $1 million? Do you want to be a lottery winner? If you want to be a lottery winner and win the Mega Millions, you have to play the Mega Millions. So you're just not going to win the lottery by saying, "Oh, I want to win the lottery." No, you got to go to the bodega and you got to go give them $2 or more for the tickets, and you have to make that move in order to be put in the drawing.
Yeah, I agree. You do need to take the steps towards whatever you're trying to manifest. You need
Mm-hmm.
to show the divine or God or the universe, whatever you call it,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
if you want something, you're not just sitting around waiting for it to fall into your hands.
Right. I agree totally.
So we are wrapping up here. This has been a very lovely chat. Time really does fly. I do have one more thing to ask, and that's if you have any advice or guidance or anything else that you want to add that you think our listeners should take away with them.
I would say if you're inquisitive about manifesting and you may not feel you don't know what to do to help you get started, there's different blogs out there, there's YouTube, all of that. So you have resources to help you to get started. But in the event, if you need personal assistance, you, your friends, or whomever your organization can contact me and I will help as much as possible. This is something that I enjoy doing. And because it has worked for me, I can answer questions. I can help you with your development, with your game plan. I can help you create your list, or even if you have one item, I can show you techniques, and from the techniques that I show, select one or several that you feel comfortable with to move forward to help your manifestation come to pass.
There's actually one more thing I almost forgot to ask about from something you said, and I'm trying to remember the name. You mentioned the
Oh, the Grabavoid. Yeah, the
gravel.
Grabavoid codes. Yeah,
Okay, what is
Grabavoid
that?
codes. So Grabavoid code is a Russian code system that will help attract whatever it is that you want. The item that you may want, it has a code. It can go from a 3-digit number code to maybe a 15-digit number code. But then also with the Grabavoid, they have chants and phrases that you could utilize to attract whatever it is that you want. Maybe it's a home, love, you want an hourglass shape, and you will chant these phrases every day whenever you feel the need to, whenever it strikes you to do so. Or you'll say, well, since I want this brand new house, I will say this Grabavoid chant. I have Grabavoid chants that have 3 words to 9 to 10 words that you say over and over and over again. So with the Grabavoid, I recite the chant or I write the number sequence down, which I call scripting in my notebook. So again, with me manifesting, I'm using the Grabavoid method. You write it as many times as you like. It could be several times a day, once a day, or once a week, however it is that you set up your manifesting time. Me personally, in the mornings, I try to get up super early where the house is nice and quiet and still, and I'll just sit down and I'll go to my book and I'll just start writing and scripting and meditating, and that's a part of my manifestation process, my method.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us today, Kat. Very much appreciate your presence here, and you've given me a lot to think about in my own methods and my own practice, so thank you for that.
My pleasure.
If you could just let our listeners know where they can find you, your social medias and all that stuff.
Oh, okay, excellent. I can be found on Instagram. My handle would be UrbanMagnets. That's spelled URBAN Magnets with an S on Instagram. Feel free to browse my page and see what I have to offer and just the different things that I've created that can help you manifest whatever it is that you're seeking, and also things that can help you with your confidence and your affirmations to help you feel better, lift your spirits. Just take a look and see what you like. And if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to hear from you.
I'm sure people will be happy to reach out to you.
Thank
So,
you.
of course, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so
Oh,
much for
my
chatting with
pleasure.
me. So we have reached our reading section of today's episode. I decided to start our reading with the Soul Healing Oracle deck. And I figured to save time, I'm just going to start our reading, and you won't hear any of the shuffling and all that I do in between. I figured, that's happening. There's no reason for me to do it every time. If you do like it and you miss it, let me know. But from here on out, we are going to skip all that and just start our reading after I shut my mouth. We have the curiosity of the soul, investigation, questioning, discovery. We have the worthy one, self-worth, power, royalty. We have tip the scales, justice, taking control of a situation, legal matters. We have the stone, slow-moving, long-term change, heaviness. We have the soul needs love, a need for comfort, desired connection, emotionally guarded. That's all that wanted to be pulled. But when I was shuffling, a card jumped up, the galaxy in your soul, personal divinity, cosmos, limitless possibilities. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Lover's Island, romantic getaway, happy couple, honeymoon. And I wanted to share that because after the last one we pulled, The Soul Needs Love, which is a number 15, this Lover's Island is a number 51. So we have a 1551 there. Just before that, we had a 56, a 46, a 40, and a 24. So there seems to be a bit of a progression here. If you look, we have 2, 4, 4, 4, 6, 5, 6, 1, 5. And of course, 2, 9, the galaxy in your soul. The 1, 5 kind of breaks up that progression of 2, 4, 4, 6, or 5, 6, 2, 4, 4, 5, 6, if you want to look at it that way. But not so badly. But when I pulled it, I did really have the urge to pull some clarifiers for that, The Soul Needs Love. So I'm going to do that now. We have Queen of Pentacles and 5 of Wands. And on the bottom of the deck is the 10 of Wands. Going from the beginning with the curiosity of the soul. This seems like it's a journey that some of us have been on to try to understand ourselves, to find balance within ourselves, to see how worthy we are. And this has been going on for a long, long time. This has been a journey of inner exploration. This has been a journey of trying to understand who we are, what we bring to the world, what we value within ourselves, how we value ourselves, how we see value. And I think a lot of us have been on a journey of finding self-value, finding love for who we are, and finding balance within ourselves. I'm really focusing here on take control of a situation, on tip the scales, because it really feels like we are taking control of our minds, taking control of our hearts. And with this soul needs love, we still have a bit to go. We have been on a journey. With the Queen of Pentacles, I'm getting the vibe of an ego situation, maybe an ego death that is needed or that has recently happened. Maybe we're fighting with our ego, we're saying, yes, I love myself, but what if? And it's the ego that's doing the what if. It's the ego saying, what if I'm actually not good enough? What if I'm not worthy? What if these people don't actually love me? They're just tricking me for some reason. Even that's ego. Our paranoia is our ego. It's a form of self-judgment. It's attempting to assume what someone else is thinking about ourselves as a preemptive way of saying, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy of love. I don't have that value. This is something from our past. This is something we're growing through. If you're listening to this, I don't think you're at the beginning of this journey. I think you're actually closer to the end of it. There are still some things that you need. Comfort, connection. You may still be emotionally guarded, especially if you worked really hard to find worth in yourself. There can be this thing that happens when we create new relationships, whether romantic or friendship, where we want that person to like us so bad that we start going back into judging ourselves, into trying to make ourselves good for them, into trying to make ourselves likable to them, as opposed to being good for us, being likable for us, being loving for us, loving ourselves, and knowing that those who are meant to love us will, and that we don't have to put in any extra effort. Obviously, we have to be good to them and kind to them, and if we see worth in ourselves, we're going to. If we find ourselves worthy, then we are going to treat those we love well. So we don't have to do anything extra. We don't have to try to convince them to love us, because the same goes for them. If they're loving themselves and they truly love us, they're going to treat us well. There doesn't need to be any peacocking. That came to mind, and I look down and I see the Queen of Pentacles, and there's the peacock literally here on this card. We don't have to do that. And with this Five of Wands here, it's almost like there's a battle inside of us between knowing that we don't have to do that and that other side of us that still tries to. With the Galaxy in your soul, I think your overall energy is coming into contact, coming into knowing with your personal divinity. And again, knowing that you are limitless, knowing that you can create the existence you desire. You can create the existence that you know is yours. You can be the you that you know you are. And you can know that you, that real true you, is worthy of love, is magical, is amazing, is in control. This has been a long journey for you. I'm going to pull some cards to get some outcome energy for you. We have King of Cups. We have Eight of Wands. On the bottom of the deck, we have King of Wands. So we have you coming into alignment with yourself. We have you moving forward towards something beautiful. We have you taking charge with two kings and the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands image are 8 wands floating over a field of sheep, because you are not sheep. You are a leader, you are in control, and you are leading with your heart, with this King of Cups and that King of Wands. You are leading with your passions, you are leading with your soul. And this isn't just, maybe it's work, maybe you're a new boss, something like that, but I mean, you are leading your life. You are taking the wheel, you are steering your life towards the sky, towards love, towards your heart's fulfillment. Ego is no longer a factor here. Waiting is no longer a factor here. You are taking action for yourself. You are seeing how limitless you truly are, and you are flying. Oh, I love this. I love this energy for you. I love it. It's so beautiful. I wish you so much of this. And I thank you. I feel so honored that I'm able to read for whoever this is resonating for. I thank you so very much, and I thank the Divine for sending these messages to us. I love it, and I claim it as well. Thank you, and blessed be. So that was our show. Thank you so much for listening. I do hope you enjoyed it. Every episode, I learn something new. I get to talk to really interesting people, and it's just fascinating. I'm really glad that I started doing this. If you would like to come speak to me, I am open to all sorts of topics, and I would be so glad and honored to have you here. You can find all of Maiden Circle's links, as well as links to anything mentioned in today's episode, in our description on whatever platform you're using. I would love to hear from you. Once again, thank you for joining me on this journey. I look forward to sharing our next episode with you. And until then, I send you with so much love and all the blessings in the world. Bye now.